To residents of heaven, she's an envoy of the Dragon Palace, a pretty fancy name for being a messenger. Others need to be wary of her thunderous powers, and to many of us, we associate her with some groovy moves. I will refer to said girl as Eek. Hello, Magi here, and welcome back to another episode of Character Profile, the series where I'll take an in-depth look of a character from games, print work, fan-related stuff, and anything that can be associated with Eek will be discussed here. This video is special as we'll have a guest helping us out for this. Introduce yourself.
Oh, is it my turn? Alright then. Hello everyone, my name is Surnist. If you don't know me already, I do videos on YouTube. I know that's vague, but I don't want to make it too long, since Magi already presented me in the previous video, so if you want to know more, just check out my channel. I'll be honored by your presence. On that note, I'll give the mic back to Magi.
Thanks, bro. So without further ado, let's begin the character profile of Eek Nagae. Name and their meaning.
Now, this has to be the shortest name section yet. Her full name is Iku Nagae. Nagae means eternal river, and Iku means clothing associated with the number 9, or black colored jade. So together, her name might mean a black jade in the scarlet clothing at the eternal river. And honestly, yeah, I got nothing else to say on this point.
Character appearance. Let's review Eek's physical appearance. Her portrait in Scarlet Weather shows her having red eyes and short violet blue hair. She wears a white and red shirt, a long black skirt, and a fedora with red bow and 2 long ribbons extending it. She also has a long white and red shawl entwined along her arms and blouse. Both the shawl and shirt glow with scarlet color. Now I'm curious to the fact of it glowing in the dark. Gotta be cool, right? Appearance in games and print work. Let's take a look at all the times Eek has shown up in the series. Her first appearance would be in Scarlet Weather Raspity. During the incident, strange weather was happening over Kinsokyo and the girls were trying to figure out the incident to this. During their search, a majority of them would face Eek as the second last boss. The thing is, Eek was really confused as to why people thought she was the culprit behind everything. When in Kinsokyo, everyone is the culprit. She appears in Hyuso Sensoku, but only as a playable character. No story mode for her. Rip that dream. The next one is double spoiler. Here, Aya and Hatate are trying to take pictures of the girl's spell cards. She appears in scene 10-2, 10-4, 10-6, and 10-8. She appears during the Religion War in Hopeless Masquerade, but only as a background character. She's in the Palanquin ship and Yokai Tanuki 4th stage. She's seen floating near Tenshi, making sure she don't cause shit to happen. That part was made up by me, but still, I can see that happening. Her last game appearance as of this recording is Violet Detector. Sumuriko faces Eek in Nightmare Thursday 2, 4, and 5. Everyone is showing up in Violet. Sumuriko's meeting the whole crew, it seems. When it comes to print appearances, don't expect too much. She's in the Grimoire Marissa where said magician documented her spell cards. She appears in Symposium. Here, Hatate writes an article involving veils and a legend it has about husband hunting. Trust me, it's some funny shit. I talked about it in the past in my Interesting Touhou Facts series. She's in Wild and Horn Hermit in chapter 15 as a cameo. That's all you're getting there. It gets a little better in Forbidden Scrollery. For her last print appearance, she's in chapter 3 and chapter 10 as cameos. 2 is better than 1. Personality. Now, Eek's main job is to observe the daily mood of the atmosphere and adapt to it right away, which is pretty good, but that's also one of her main abilities, which I'll discuss further down the line. Now, Eek's a pretty cool gal. She knew about Tenshi and the earthquakes and tried to warn people about it, but unfortunately she kept getting beaten up by the cast. Tired of the bullshit she was dealt with, she accepts an invitation from Suika to drink and vent. When Tenshi was causing problems, all Eek needed to do was tell someone of the Hinanai clan of what Tenshi was doing and call it a day. But she took it upon herself to try to help Kinsokyo, which didn't turn out well as mentioned earlier. Goes to show that Eek was doing the best she can to assist Kinsokyo. The funny part is that in her character info for Scarlet Weather, it mentions her personality as to never take the lead role, lazy. She's always laid back and has no interest in others' behavior. She almost never insists on her own opinion and mostly watches what others do, which does correspond to her ability, but still, I can't really call her lazy after what she tried to do back in the incident. Good gal Eek. At least she tried anyway. Occupation/jobs. Like I mentioned in the beginning, her main occupation is being the envoy of the Dragon Palace. From what I could gather, Eek's job was to file a report before warning everyone about the earthquake. but couldn't because all of the Hinonai clan were away from their homes, and due to Ikki's job, Tenshi's father is angry every time a report is filed about his daughter. To be fair, no parents wants to hear their children fucking shit up. That can be bloody annoying. General information / backstory
section, we're going to be covering her species. Her profile suggests that she's a yokai of oarfishes. In Japanese, oarfishes are called Ryugu no Tsukai, which literally means messenger from the dragon's palace. In this case, a dragon is considered as a god of water. Never heard that before. Gods of water. Call me impressed. Anyway, her shawls and probably the long ribbons on her hat are apparently modeled after the shape of oarfishes, which have thin, elongated bodies and red fins. I'm gonna throw a picture of an oarfish and yeah, they certainly have those features. Not to review the oarfishes in further detail as I don't have anything to add. Oarfishes are a group of scaleless bony fish within the family of the how do you say that thing? Hang on. Regalecidae. There, that wasn't too hard. Due to the depths at which this fish lives, oarfishes are rarely seen but do wash up on beaches as dead carcasses. Explained in science, it's possible that oarfishes are the first victim from the effect of a pre-earthquake, causing it to surface in a dead state before it hits the land. Oh, that's really unfortunate for him. Whenever these fish are caught in nets or washed up dead on beaches, it is said that earthquakes will occur as a result. Yeah, they really are something. When it comes to oarfish in Touhou, they are familiar in terms of basic knowledge with the experienced residents of Gensokyo, and the ones that have lived in the outside world at some point. However, because oceans are not present in Gensokyo, it can be assumed that oarfish cannot be found in the wild in its animal form. I mean, yeah, having a place with no oceans would make it kinda hard for wild oarfish to be around.
Titles. Ikki has only 2 titles, Beautiful Scarlet Cloth and Flying Rare Items. Yep, moving on. Ability / powers. A section where we can talk a little more. Her first ability is reading the atmosphere. In her Scarlet Weather official profile, it is stated she can read the mood of a place and adapt to it right away. She doesn't try to break the mood unless there's a very urgent reason. Flexibility is stronger than stiffness. Not an ability I have, that's for certain. When necessary, she vanishes completely and parries any attack. However, in a neighborhood where her speech and conduct irritates the opponent, it's a question of whether she truly reads it. Very much so, it can be conceived that upon reading the atmosphere, she ventures to say that gave her superior mental and emotional standing than her opponent. That's not exactly going with the flow if I'm correct. Her second power is borrowing the dragon's power. That sounds pretty cool, even if you gotta borrow shit. According to Aya and Hatate, Ikki and possibly the other messengers from the Dragon Palace can borrow a bit of the Dragon God's power. Since the dragon is known among other things for its power to cause rainfall, lightning, and thunderstorms, this may be what allows Ikki to cause and manipulate lightning on her own. That explains her shocking abilities. Additionally, in one interpretation, it might well be the reading the atmosphere is reading the flow of air and the ability to manipulate it. In actuality, the reason she was able to sense earthquake was due to looking at the condition of the scarlet clouds and reading the portents of earthquakes. Oh dang, might as well add that to the list as well. Music. Now Ikki only has 1 track. It's her boss theme in Scarlet Weather, Crimson in the Black Sea, Legendary Fish. Gameplay.
Oh boy, it's been a while since we had this section. Since Ikki was a playable fighter, we'll have to focus on her iteration in Scarlet Weather Rhapsody and Issa Tensoku. In terms of gameplay, Ikki has deceptively fast and long-range melee attacks. Projectile-wise, she is a slow, non-interacting bullet for zoning, as well as extremely fast and long-range ones for punishing. This makes it very hard to set up bullet cover or to start an offensive against her safely. She also possesses a variety of powerful and effective cards, ranging from anti-air to movement. Thus, Ikki excels at defensive play and requires a patient mindset to be able to effectively shut down her opponents. That's the general idea of Ikki. She has a lot of advantages, like good zoning and burst bullets, as well as good aerial pressure and long-range melee attacks, which allows her to do a lot of damage quickly. She easily combos enemies once they are caught in and has a versatile set of moves and spell cards. On top of that, her cards do not hit her mages so much, so she won't run out of energy easily. And well, I mean, why wouldn't you play someone who can dance? defense. Come on guys. However, that does not mean that she has an easy time in battle. Her far-reaching moves also mean that she extends her hitbox and therefore means that she is weak to rush down. That does not pair well with her overall slow speed and flight. An opponent can also use her blind spots to have an easier time against Iku. Some notable stuff about her is that Iku is capable of perfect flight and is able to turn in the air with greater accuracy than the majority of the casts. Also, Iku's ground dash hovers slightly above the ground. This allows her to dash over some low physical attacks. However, Iku's hitbox is turned horizontal during the dash, which makes her vulnerable to wide physical attacks. I mean, you can't really win them all, right?
Spell cards. Given that she's in a fighter, she'll have a good amount of spell cards. We're going to be covering the ones shown in Scarlet Weather and Hiso Tensoku. The first 4 spell cards are her story spell cards. They're pretty much what you'll be dealing with against Ikk in the campaign. The first spell card is called Light Orb, Dragon's Gleaming Eyes. The second spell card is called Thunder Sun, Residence of the Thunder God. The third one is called Thorn Sun, Thundercloud Stickleback. The last one is called Cloud Realm, Thundercourt in the Sea of Abstruse Clouds. Now this list will contain spell cards you're actually able to use while playing as Ikk. The first one to mention is Electric Sign, Thunder Drum Shot. Next is Fish Sign, Dragon Fish Drill. Next is Thunder Sign, Elekiter Dragon Palace. Never heard that word before. Next is Light Star, Light Dragon Sigh. Next is Thunderfish, Thunder Cloudfish's Swimming Shot. Next is Orb Sign, Orb of the 5-Clawed Dragon. The last spell card is Angel's Raiment, Veils Like Sky. Holy shit, that was a mouthful. Now we can focus on the other games, which should be pretty quick. For double spoiler, we have 2 old spell cards from Hiso Tensoku, Orb Sign, Orb of the 5-Clawed Dragon, and Dragonfish, or Fish's Swimming Shot. I'll be covering the newer ones instead. The first new one is Thunder Sign, Lightning Fish in Scene 10-2. The last one is Dragon Palace, Dance of Sea Brims and Flounders in Scene 10-6. For the last game, we're going to be looking at Violet Detector. Her first spell card is Shining Heaven Sun, Thunderclap, Dawn Doko Drum, co-owner with Raiko, Nightmare Tuesday 2. Like, I'm not bloody surprised by it. Double Thunder Power! The next one is Scarlet Star Sign, Unidentified Lightning Strike, co-owner with Nue, Nightmare Thursday 4. An interesting duo. The last one is Divine Scarlet Sign, Stalker in a Thunderstorm, co-owner with Mamizo, Nightmare Thursday 5. Gotta roll with the Tanuki boss.
Relationships.
When it comes to relationships, we gotta talk about the gal who practically forced Ikki's hand to get involved. Tenchi Hinanai from the Hinanai clan. Ikki comments to Tenchi that she was supposed to file a report before warning everyone about the earthquake, but couldn't because all of the Hinanai clan were away from their homes. This implies that one of her duties is to file reports to the Hinanai clan when an earthquake is about to occur. Note, however, that doesn't mean she's subservient to Tenchi's clan, just that her job requires interacting with them. It's shown in her ending that she saw how spoiled and reckless the eldest child Tenchi was and was never happy about it. Her win quote to Tenchi implies that Ikki often complained to Tenchi about how mad her father was whenever Ikki reported him. Like I mentioned earlier, no parents wants to deal with bullshit, especially from their kid. To Tenchi, however, Ikki was just a messenger. Tenchi's unauthorized use of a keystone finally caused Ikki to take action and punish Tenchi, and for Tenchi to learn Ikki's name. Although having no authority over a member of the Hinanai meant that all Ikki could do in the long term was complain about it. Damn, that's a shame. Someone needs a good beating there. Next on the list will be the Oni, Suika Ibiki. Ikki first encounters Suika when Suika's climbing to heaven to see Tenchi, where she tests Suika before allowing Suika to move on. Suika once surprising Ikki with her power. Ikki later runs into the Oni while searching for Tenchi to file a report on earthquakes. The Oni requests Ikki play with her for a bit and fights Ikki in a duel. Ikki's extremely confused why the Oni is still in heaven but had to get back to her job. Eventually, after a long string of being attacked by various residents of Ginzokyo for no reason whatsoever, and an infuriating meeting with Tenchi, the poor exhausted Orphish arrives back in heaven and runs into the Oni again. Suika's story of Tenchi giving her land gets the Orphish even more exasperated at the Celestial, and Suika cheerfully comforts her and pours her a drink, encouraging Ikki to vent her complaints to the Oni. It's unknown if they became friends after that or not. Man, after all that bullshit, you're gonna need a friend. The last one will mostly be about the crew in Scarlet Weather. Everyone attacked Ikki either for no reason, sometimes twice, or because they suspected her of being the cause of the incident, leaving the Orphish confused. Exceptions are the first battles with Yuriko and Suika, which were tests to see if they could enter heaven, and Sakya, who managed to get Ikki mad by blatantly not caring about her warnings, causing Ikki to attempt to block her from heaven. This was presumably a one-time occurrence, as Ikki was nice to Sakya and hoped to try her cooking in Ikki's victory quote to her. This is actually perhaps the kindness of Ikki's victory quotes, with the rest being sometimes biting advice. You know Sakya's good if even fishes want to try her cooking. Yukari, Yuriko, Suika, and Tenchi are the only 4 characters who encounter Ikki in story mode that recognize that Ikki's a dragon god messenger, implying they've seen one before. Leave it to the first 3 to know who's who. Raisin and Komachi don't encounter Ikki in story mode and don't have particularly notable win quotes. Oddly, Ikki becomes friendly with Yukari in Yukari's scenario when Ikki learned about the keystone before Yukari. However, Yukari became mad at Ikki in Ikki's scenario when Yukari learned about the keystone before Ikki. Yukari's way of informing Ikki was much more vicious than Ikki's way of informing Yukari. Man, Yukari can be one confusing yokai.
Fun/interesting facts.
Let's go for some fun and interesting facts. This should be good. Ikki's spell card declaration pose and some alternate special move poses closely resembles John Travolta's dancing pose from the disco movie Saturday Night Fever, and to a lesser extent they also resemble Bass's lightning attack pose from the game Mega Man and Bass, as well as the startup of Super Robot Great Mazinga's move Thunderbreak. In Usopp Soku, Ikki seems to have an alternate color palette that resembles the fan-made character Maybelle. If you don't know who she is, she's a self-conscious doll that appears in the Thought of Doll series of comics, which got very popular in the fandom. Also, Ikki's dress resembles the one of a Spanish flamenco dancer, which explains why her moves look a bit like dancing. However, her profile states that it's a special dress that allows her to fly, referencing the fact that in some dances, the dancer looks like he is flying. Again, call me impressed, because if you give the illusion of flying, then you must be a very talented dancer.
Fan-on stuff.
Fan-on section, the craziest part of them all. I know what you're here for, the disco pose. Due to her spell card declaration pose, many dojo works make fun of by linking her to disco dancing. This has made some connection to Ame Kasu Barley Tenji. Also, the phrase Kaiyukusen, whatever the fuck it is, has become a meme relating to Ikki, which originated from another meme, Kiryu-san, in response to Dragoons in Final Fantasy XI. In addition to both games having elements of fighting, the word eek sounds like a nice replacement for Ryu, and in addition to the feeling that they're both Saturday Night Fever like idols, many have thus commented in response to eek, Kayuku-san. These fucking words, I swear. This picture you're seeing right now originated from the Chef JIS art. That looks not bad, all things considered, pretty creative.
Let's look at some miscellaneous stuff. Her character may be an homage to Rose, a fortune teller from the Street Fighter video game series. Both heavily rely on premonitions for their occupations and sense an approaching doomsday at hand. Iku and Rose also makes extensive use of their shoals in combat by lashing out with extreme range, using drill bits formations around their arms, or even reflecting projectiles. She's often presented as the nanny or the personal teacher of Tenchi, due to the fact that they knew themselves before Scarlet Weather Rhapsody, and also because Iku sent people to put Tenchi down. Yeah, I can't imagine that turning out very well. There's been a trend in fanarts and doujins of Iku showing that she's a slob at home. The reason for this are unknown, but some believe it's due to, trying to make the character seem more interesting. As being one of the most tempered characters, she may seem dull to some.
Pairings.
Once more is only gonna involve one, despite the name, Tenchi and Eek, or Eek 10. As seen in Scarlet Weather, Eek acts as a guardian for Tenchi whenever she does mischief, causing Eek to punish her. This works well with the fan theory that Tenchi is a masochist, and trust me, we've seen enough of that shit already. But yeah, that's gonna conclude the character profile for Eek. Which facts were your favorite? Did you learn that Eek's a pretty cool gal? Do you think she has it rough having to deal with Tenchi? Or do you think she's one smooth dancer? I want to give a big shout out to Surnist for collaborating with me. Any final words, man?
Yeah, sure, I got a few words to say. I know it might sound a little stereotypical at this point, but I've really enjoyed working with you. Although the clashing editing style may disturb some of you, so I hope it didn't prevent the viewers from enjoying it. I guess you can see why I like Iku a lot now, huh? Anyway, thanks for inviting me, Magi.
Thanks, bro! If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe, or else I might end up in a dance-off against Eek. I'm not winning that one. Either way, this is Magi, and thanks again for watching.